Have you seen any good movies lately?
No, I think I'm going to ride my bike. I was talking about the bike earlier.
Yeah.
Wayne was asking. Wayne, you're interested, right? Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Wayne.
Yeah.
Wayne.
Hello, and welcome to Revue de Bourbon, a podcast dealing with all things bourbon. I'm your co-host, Dusty, and along with my co-host, Wayne, we're just a couple of guys who love to talk about bourbon. So, whether you're at home, at work, or just in your car, sit back, relax, kick your feet up, pour yourself a drink, and enjoy the show. That's right, everybody. Welcome back to Revue de Bourbon. Boy, do we have a humdinger for you guys today. We are featuring 3 different selections from Jefferson's Bourbon, the chef collaboration, the ocean aged, and the very old, very small batch. We're going to have a good time today. Wayne, how's it going, man?
It's going good,
Yeah.
especially since there's 3 bottles of Jefferson sitting right here. It's a good day.
That's good news.
Yeah.
It's kind of an expensive day, too.
Yeah. Well, don't
Not
darken
that
the
that's a
moment
big
for
deal.
me.
I know. So we are doing 3 bourbons. We've blind tasted them, and we've jotted some notes down. And we aren't going to rank these because we already discussed.
Can't.
You know, they're too different and too good. They all have their special qualities. But we're going to go through them. We don't know which ones we were tasting, so it's going to be interesting to find out, what we were thinking. Did one stick out to you in particular? Maybe you want it the most?
I'd say 2 for its uniqueness and 3 because I thought it was, still unique, but really good. That's one of the things about Jefferson's is they don't try to make a traditional bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
They want to have something a little bit different, which all of these are. And they don't taste like, you can't say, hey, if you like this, then try Jefferson's Chef's Collaboration because there's nothing to compare it to.
Yeah, it's like a completely different brand, almost.
But man, they're all good.
So before we talk about that, let's go ahead and set up Jefferson's Bourbon. Let's tell people about what it is. It was started in 1997 by Trey Zoller, who is a master blender, not a distiller.
There's a lot of master blenders in Scotland.
Okay, do you want to educate people on what that means?
I don't know shit about that.
Well, the difference between distiller and blender.
Oh, yeah, a distiller distills and a blender blends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is a non-distilling bourbon maker. They buy all their bourbon and rye and then do their own mixing. And
they generally have a end product in mind and know what they need to combine in order to get that.
And there's definitely an art in that.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about that.
Almost as much of an art as distilling it, if not more, because you're not
in control.
You're not starting with what you want. You're taking what other people make and then combining it into what you want.
And they've got a pretty consistent product.
They do. That's the amazing thing about Jefferson's. You can have a glass of Jefferson's Reserve this year, try another glass next year, and it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Now for something a little different, we're going to head to the phone lines. I'd like to introduce our first phone guest on the phone. We've got Brian. Brian, are you there?
Hey, Brian. How's it going?
All right. Wayne, say hi to Brian.
Hey, Brian, how's it going?
Wayne, my man.
Yeah.
I like that new haircut.
Well, thank you.
How'd you know he got a haircut?
You're welcome. New do, can do.
Okay,
That's
so
what Wayne says.
Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm like closest 5'11", but probably more like 6'1".
Mm-hmm.
I can't dunk. I have a bicycle.
Right.
And I like to drink.
We're sitting here, Wayne and I are sitting here drinking Jefferson's bourbon. Have you ever had Jefferson's?
No.
Yeah.
Tell me about it, please.
Well, it's made by, it's not made. It's bought by somebody who blends bourbons, and these are basically all just blended bourbons of the finer qualities.
Can you help me understand what a blended bourbon is?
Yeah, it's just taking
Maybe for your listeners too.
a bunch of barrels and blending them together. One that we're tasting tonight is the Chef collaboration, and that is a blend of bourbon and rye, which you don't see too often in the whiskey biz, do you, Wayne?
No, not a whole lot.
So that's kind of cool. But the others are just
That's
kind of,
interesting.
yeah, the others are just small batch. One is very small batch, and that means about 10 barrels. Small batch in general means like 1 to 300 barrels, generally.
Do they ever blend different ages?
Yeah, absolutely, all the time.
Okay.
What are you up to tonight?
Just having a couple beers. I know
Yeah.
this is a bourbon podcast. Sorry, but
Well,
I'm
we're
up
having
here
a
in
couple
Michigan
beers
having some
too.
good beers.
Yeah, we've got Busch Light as a palate cleanser.
That is a palate cleanser. You're right.
We prefer Modelo Especial.
Yeah, Modelo is the official palate cleanser of Revue de Bourbon. But
Is it really?
Yeah,
Anything that's water, you can have.
right.
That's what you guys are having.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But,
And you're eating like crackers, like Pizza Hut crackers, probably.
all right, Brian. Well, that was nice talking to you. Thanks for coming on. And
That's it? You told me to ask, and I don't know anything about the one you're drinking. You just wanted to see what I was doing? I guess it's best that this time I didn't use the F word, huh? Because I might be on the show this time.
we always put it on there as explicit just in case.
Yeah, I heard that, because you guys use some bad words.
sometimes
Some of those
when
some
it's
of those bad
called
words
for.
are, oh, hey, well, we call this beer Keystone Light, not a beer.
Busch Light.
Keystone Light.
Okay, I think we've got a bad signal.
Now you're right that body.
okay.
Here and watch Jurassic
Thanks a
World.
lot. We'll
Chris Pratt,
we'll call you
good
back.
ass, whatever.
If we have any more questions, we'll call you back. Sound good?
Bye, Brian.
Thanks for having me on the show. I just want to thank a lot of people.
Like 90s classic rock.
Yeah, classic rocks like the Rolling Stones and shit. Not
Yeah.
not STP and Pearl Jam.
I know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Well, I was describing to someone the other day, this is the second wave of classic rock, because the
Right.
original classic rock, that was the first.
Yeah.
There was no classic rock before that.
No.
But now we're at the first next wave of classic rock.
What's it called? Nothing yet?
I think classic rock.
Oh, shit.
You know, there's different styles that get dumped into it. And then in 20 years from now, there'll be another wave.
So is Alice in Chains classic rock?
Yes.
Whoa.
All right, well, let's talk about what Jefferson's offers. They have a few varieties. We'll start off with the Jefferson's Reserve, which comes in at right about 90 proof. It's a mix of 4 bourbons, and I guess you'd say it's their standard bourbon. It's got the picture of Jefferson on the front of it. And then there's...
And then there was the
bourbon.
Presidential Select, which I don't know if you can even buy anymore.
A
lot of the bourbon came from Stitzelweller.
Yeah, that's what the big thing is there. It
And,
got snatched up real quick.
I had a glass of it once at a restaurant.
Did you?
And decided it was just one of the best bourbons I'd ever had.
It probably was.
And I went to try and buy it and couldn't find it anywhere.
No way.
Jefferson's Presidential Select is awesome, though.
The 17 and the 18 are what you want to look for there.
Oh, yeah?
And then we got the rye. The rye is really good.
It's actually a little bit stronger than their other ones at 47% alcohol.
The rye comes from either Canada or MGP in Indiana in Lawrenceburg.
And then there's the Jefferson's Ocean. Started off as kind of an experiment. They've actually brought it back, I believe, this year as a standard bottling.
Yeah, you
And,
can find it on the shelves right now.
They age bourbon of, a blend of whatever, about 7 or 8 years, they say. And then they load it onto some ships, which they go all over the world for about 6 months. And then there's the chef's collaboration that we have here. Jefferson's, they kind of teamed up with Edward Lee, who's a chef over in Louisville, to make a bourbon that would pair well with lots of different types of food. And they blended bourbon and rye together in that one.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
like bourbon and rye. So why not mix them?
That kind of makes sense going with food because you can kind of get like the subtler flavors of the bourbon and then the spicier stuff with the rye.
Right. Yeah, you're mixing sweet and spicy.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about this blind tasting a little bit. Sound good? All right. What were your notes for number one?
Just on the nose, it's light, but it's kind of grainy and woody. The taste, it's there's caramel there, and there's kind of like if you have a good black tea and put a little lemon in it, there's a little bit of that kind of lemongrass, lemon tea flavor.
Okay.
Pretty good.
All right, that was the very small batch.
Okay.
My number one smell wasn't real strong, nice even smell. Nice and light, even smell, kind of grassiness. Tasted kind of very woody, fresh oak, like you were saying. Not the charred part, but just like fresh cut oak.
That was the ocean.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, let's move on to number two.
On the nose, there's definitely wood, some spicy notes. And then on the taste, it's pretty unique. But there was like leather, vanilla, maybe toffee, and almost a little hint of salt, possibly.
Good. That is the chef collaboration.
Chef?
Yeah. So those were all good descriptive words to pair with food.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you think about it. All right. My number two, the smell, traditional, rich, kind of deep, much deeper smell. Taste was really super smooth, kind of maple butter. What was that?
That was the reserve.
Okay.
And it has that old school bourbon smell like a Heaven Hill bourbon, right?
Yes.
That's the one I said that about. Yeah.
All right. Moving on to number three.
Still, it's just a light on the nose. You don't pick up a whole lot, but there's grain and a little bit of kind of floral smell. And this reminded me of a Highland Scotch. Because you taste honey and barley, and it's hard to describe, but it tasted to me more like a Scotch than a bourbon.
Okay, that's the ocean.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
That makes sense. Yeah.
My number three, I was getting cherry and pine on the smell. It had like the spice up front, and then like smooth, dry, kind of honey lemon on the finish. Its main characteristic, I remember, it had a nice bite right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then mellowed out. What was that?
That's the chef collaboration.
So, that about rounds it out. Let's kind of determine, like, what do you like the best? What style do you like the best? This is completely personal preference, but what are your thoughts just kind of overall and what you prefer?
Probably the chef's collaboration for the kind of spicier notes that it has.
Mm-hmm.
And just more bold. But the Ocean's Aged, I love it for its uniqueness. Not only in just the concept, but the taste also.
Yeah.
It does not taste like any bourbon that I've ever had. It's got some of the characteristics of a Scotch. If you like Macallan's, those kind of lighter-bodied, sweet, honey, barley, those kind of Scotches, then your bourbon that you might like a lot could be the Ocean Aged.
So, overall, let's go ahead and wrap these guys up. Put a little bow tie on top. Let's say like one word for each of these.
All right.
Let's start with the very old, very small batch, Jefferson's Reserve.
Can I call it classic? Is that okay?
Yeah, classic.
All right.
All right, there we go. Like it. What do you think for the chef collaboration?
Spicy.
And then we got the Ocean. Jefferson's Ocean Aged.
Unique.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe the same word. How about that? And now, a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back. Today's episode of Revue de Bourbon is brought to you by Faxidate. Tired of going to smoky lounges, bars, or send letters? That's slow. Are you single, curious, and maybe ready to mingle? Well, let Faxidate match you with hundreds of singles throughout the world. Just fax them your information, and then literally within days, you'll be receiving faxes from all kinds of hot singles. Once again, that's Faxidate. Love may just be one fax away. All right, and we're back at Revue de Bourbon.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. And once again, I just want to remind everybody we are very active on social media. If you want to hop on Twitter, Instagram, whatever tickles your Facebook fancy, we'll be right there. If you want to email us, we take questions. Anything you want to participate in, we'll be there, and we'll talk about bourbon with you. If you want to get a look at these beautiful bottles we're tasting tonight, you can go to reviewtobourbon.com. And by the way, if you're wondering how to listen to us most efficiently, I would say just download the iTunes podcast app.
What if you have an Android phone?
Download Google Play.
Oh, yeah.
And on either one of those, subscribe to us, and then you'll be instantly updated when we do a new show.
Thanks, Google Play and iTunes.
Yeah. Wow.
What a wonderful world we live in.
So easy. Touch of the button. Okay. Now, moving on to a much anticipated portion of the show. A little game that we like to call Quickdraw. All right, yeah. As many of you know, this is a game where I, Dusty, ask Wayne questions about any sort of bourbon topic, any topic at all, actually.
Mostly questions.
Yeah, mostly questions. Some are just opinions, and some are just statements. Wayne, are you ready?
No, let's go.
Okay, today's topic is Thomas Jefferson.
Hey!
Okay.
He's on that bottle.
Here we go. Where did Thomas Jefferson live through most of his life?
Monticello?
Correct. Name 3 signers of the Declaration of Independence.
Thomas Jefferson, John Hancock, Herbie Hancock.
What was Thomas Jefferson's favorite ice cream flavor?
Vanilla.
Correct. Would Thomas Jefferson own an iPad if he were alive today?
I don't know about an iPad. He would have at least some sort of a tablet, though.
Correct.
To take notes on.
Monticello
Various
housed
herbs.
which of the following? A winery, a brewery, or a distillery?
All 3.
Incorrect. Just a winery and a brewery.
That was close.
All right. That's the end of Quick Draw.
Quick Draw.
Boy, I was pretty titillated there for a while.
Yeah, I bet. On the edge of your seat.
Mm-hmm. I think we all learned a little bit about Thomas Jefferson there. What do you think about that?
Yeah, he was a pretty cool guy.
You know anything else about him?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah. This bourbon was named after him basically because of his inspiration for creativity. It wasn't because Thomas Jefferson was a great whiskey lover or anything like that.
No, he was an inventor.
He was a busy guy.
He was a well-rounded person.
Someone you want to hang out with if you get the chance.
Yeah, you want to have a beer or a Jefferson's with Jefferson. One of the most sensible of the founding fathers, him, Benjamin Franklin, actually made his own version of the Bible, the Jefferson Bible.
Pretty cool dude. An inspiration to us all.
Mm-hmm.
So we reviewed some Jeffersons today. 3 lovely selections, all equally good in their own right. We also did a nice little quick round of Quick Draw.
Quick one.
Yeah.
Good one.
You did real good there.
Got them all right.
We had our first phone-in caller. We called him, but you can't really call into the show right now. Yeah, but it's the same thing. Thanks so much to all of you that listen and have been devoted listeners and listenees. So if you want to help us out, you can go to our website, reviewtobourbon.com, and hit the PayPal button and leave us a little donation. We will put every single part of the proceeds, that's 100% of the proceeds, back into the show, and we'll let you know what we get with it. And,
that's right. All the money goes to whiskey.
Yeah, so we kind of give part of it back to you.
Back to the community, in a way.
It's for the kids.
Back to humanity.
If you want to get down to it, no, it's for the kids.
For the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know,
For
the
the
kids are drinking too much vodka, and it's got to stop at some point.
Yeah, let's stop it.
We got to do something about it.
Amen.
Be a good person and
Preach it.
just stop teen vodka usage.
Once again, this was Revue de Bourbon. We've had a heck of a time here with you.
Sure have.
Boy, we've had our ups and downs, but mostly ups.
Yeah. A lot of tough calls made tonight, though, with
Big time.
The 3 Jefferson's bourbons.
Yep.
Tough calls. I mean, they're all fantastic, and if you see any one of them that you don't own, you should just buy it. Buy all of them, drink all of them. How about that?
Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Drink all of them on the same night.
Talk to us about it. We'd love to hear what you think about it. We'll see you next time. What are we going to do next time? I think we got a live one coming up here.
Oh, really? Might have. Who knows?
Yeah. So I don't know if you have heard our live Revue de Bourbons, but they're
kind
fun.
of shitty. What?
You get that live background bar feel.
Yeah.
It always livens things up a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
We've got one of those coming up, so stay tuned, and we'll see you next time on the Podwaves. I have been Dusty Pockets, and
I've been Wayne Drummond.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next time.
Hey.
Yes.
Let's go have a bourbon.
Sounds good. Bye-bye.
Whiskey.
Wagons East. Have you been
God,
keeping up with
bro.
Kardashians?
Barbara Walters here.
Makes you want to romance.
Oh, I'm not sure I'm wearing the right clothes.